We got B-Bell Breakdown. Why NBA will change to NBA.
It's always hard to use Summer League as a predictor of what's to
Pop,
come
he's
for
smirking.
all these NBA
I know that perk. Pop Smoke. Smirk. Pop Smirk.
It's hard to
RIP to Pop Smoke.
use
I think it's his birthday today.
Summer League as a
Happy birthday and RIP.
of what's to
But
come.
Pop Smirk, I know that Pop Smirk anywhere. I know what he has up his sleeve. You can't fool me. I'm familiar with your game, Pop.
Hard to use Summer League as a predictor of what's to come for all these NBA hopefuls, but I believe there is a lot of useful information we can extract to figure out where Victor Wembanyama is in his progression. While the first game's box score numbers weren't very good, he rebounded in game 2 big time, indicating to me that this 7'5" expanse from France will be a generational talent that could change the game of basketball as we know it.
I like it when he gets hyped up like that and the music starts playing.
The most common action they used him in was as a ball screener, and these were the most conventional of plays we're going to see from him. He can present a slightly wider obstacle by getting lower, and his steps are so long that he can take off from out of the lane and put a lot of pressure on the defense.
And
Notice his use of the left hand on the attempt. He is very comfortable in the mid-range with picture-perfect jump shot mechanics, and if his defender drops to contain the ball handler, it probably won't even matter if the defense gets a hand up, since it won't bother him much at all. So far in the offense, the Spurs have him setting a ton of screens, and I'll show you in a second why that worries me a lot. Out of horns, he sets a back screen for the point guard first, then turns to set the ball screen.
Yeah, on ball screen? His man always had 2 screens.
Even if his man gets a hand up, at 7'5", he has a clear shot at the rim with very soft touch, as evidenced by how this shot missed. Here's that same play again, and while I acknowledge the guard went too early, just watch what his knee does by planting that left foot too far outside his cylinder. He might be more flexible than we're used to seeing, but I cringe at the thought of a regular-sized defender's butt being at his knee level and forcing it into unnatural positions multiple times a game. What makes him so intriguing is his ability to create shots off the dribble like a small forward. On the pop-out, he'll have plenty of opportunities this year to go at his man, and I like how he gets good in-air rotation to find proper alignment for his right hip and elbow, and here's the top extension of the contest. The defender's hand is not even within 2 feet of the ball at the release. In his first game, he acknowledged he hadn't played much for the month before, so I don't blame him for looking rusty on his distance calibration, as the offense has him set the ball screen first, then a pin away.
Where is he?
Sucks his man out of position, leaving him wide open.
He didn't even know he's open. That man doesn't even know he's open. He's looking to set the screen, not even looking at the ball. He always got to look to the ball all times.
Sucks his man out of position, leaving
his man is open.
Him wide open. However,
his man is in the paint.
He pauses with the ball at his waist before trying to yank it back up out of rhythm, and it's way too long. It looks like they want him to be a roving screener, which makes me nervous, but it also helps to get him open for catch and shoot shots on the perimeter, where he makes the immediate decision to shoot it with much better rhythm and has the defender land on his foot for the and one. They'll also use the pick and roll to get him low post position for a catch, especially when there's a switch and he gets an even bigger height advantage. Even if their center rotates over and he doesn't stay in the lane for more than 3 seconds, he can get this creative spinning bank shot to fall with beautifully soft touch on this shot. Speaking of post-ups, you can't name 2 other players in the NBA who can provide rim protection like this, grab a tough defensive rebound, then bring it up himself to get the offense going, set the quick drag screen at the wing, then roll down to the low post before going to work with his back to the basket. Of course, he's not going to bully anybody at this level, so he'd better get more clever with his moves down low before getting it stripped for a turnover. There's another ball screen that forces a switch and sees Wemby roll down low to the block looking for the ball. Even if it goes away from him, his quickness and flashing middle at his size is an asset. While he doesn't knock the little guard backwards with his power turn into the lane, he's going to make a lot of these turnaround fadeaway unblockable jumpers. It's rare for someone this tall to use this much arc on his shot. It's more like the ball flight you'd see from Steph Curry. So I'm curious to see.
It's like kind of like Steph Curry, the same arc as Steph Curry, instead of like Carl Anthony Towns, Cat Anthony Towns. Because when Cat Anthony Towns shoot, he don't even jump, so there's no arc on it.
How it will all work. Just like I'm curious to see what kind of great deal I can get from SeatGeek, the best app to find tickets to any sporting event.
Why are you always doing this?
With just a few taps, SeatGeek.
Dang! Coach Nick!
SeatGeek now, you can enjoy all your favorite NBA teams live and in person, which is how I've got to see Wemby when he comes to town, since I got most excited seeing him commanding low post position, then flaring out to the wing for the triple.
You know what's crazy? I kind of play like Wemby. Post ups, pick and pops, 3-pointers, back downs. That's me.
Most guys this size don't add a lot of arc to the shot, but Wemby shoots this at close to 50 degrees, and the result is pure.
Nothing but net.
Here's another example of him finding a back-to-the-basket catch in the mid-post.
Back to the basket? Come on, man. This is me. And he's wearing my jersey number.
Back behind the three-point line for a kick-out and great look from behind the arc. Let's try to remember,
I would have made that, though.
This guy is only 19 years old, so we'll see plenty of young rookie mistakes. But to see someone this tall with such a graceful movement pattern is mind-blowing despite the result. He drifted too far to the baseline to make his push shot. And I know he will learn how to hold off the much smaller and athletic guards that try to sneak into the passing lane for a steal. But let's get to the fun stuff, where the Spurs are thankfully willing to let him play like a small forward attacking off the dribble out top. This looks like he has a choice of screening after the handoff or popping out to the wing. We simply haven't seen a guy this tall be so proficient at attacking off the catch. And even though he fumbles the ball slightly, his hands are so big it doesn't seem to matter. Once he's got it in his shooting pocket, he can control it with another high-arcing fadeaway midi for a perfect swish. If teams intend on putting a traditional big man on him, be prepared for plenty of ISOs out top. I really like the hop into the shot, even if it's a long two, but don't expect regular NBA defenders to foul him like this. I can't think of anybody remotely close to his size that has ever started out in a two-guard front and grabbed the handoff to get going downhill.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a guard, bro. They treat him like he's a guard, bro. He's 7'5" up here playing shooting guard, bro. They say he's Kevin Durant, but 6 inches taller.
Grab the handoff to get going downhill.
That's crazy.
Into a behind-the-back pull-up. His handle still needs to get cleaned up a little bit, but he'll probably get the landing space call at some point this season despite being a rookie. However, be prepared for some rookie non-calls as well, as he was rudely welcomed to the NBA on this drive past his man, who grabs and pulls his jersey pretty hard, but no whistle. And if teams want to go small on him with a quicker guard, he's going to have to avoid putting his head down and getting his nose in front of his toes like this, since it will be an easy charge. I suspect he'll get used to the length of NBA defenders quickly, but you can see here that his dribble is kept too close to his hip as he backs down, allowing the deflection just before the contact and another turnover. He should be pretty devastating in transition, as you'll find smallish guards getting back first, and there won't be anything they can do to stop him from propelling the ball through the basket hard. Defensively, he's so mobile, expect him to challenge jumpers and then leak out to his own hoop. Again, traditional offenses have a guard back as the safety. What's exciting is how he finishes this with the left hand. This is the kind of skill level we don't normally see from someone so young. He's so fast out on the break that he can run on the wing.
Dude missed a layup, bro. What is you doing?
Someone so young.
No wonder why you're in summer league. What you do?
He's so fast out on the break.
He went too fast.
On the wing and then
gotta slow down. I had to learn that too.
Mismatch.
Once I learned it, it was over.
Dunk, but more evidence that he hadn't been training
unstoppable
much before this game. But more evidence that he hadn't been training much before this game. While Jokic does lead the break for the Nuggets, he's under 7 feet tall and not nearly as fast as Wemby, who is going to wow us on a nightly basis, especially because he's got really good vision and incredible skill at this stage, finding the cutter with a no-look lefty shovel pass for a thrilling dime. We'll get into his defense in a minute, but he can violate certain rules like no helping one pass away because he's so long, it's hard to pass around him.
Yeah, he can. See, he's probably the only player that can get away with that. Don't help from one pass away.
Pass away because he's so long, it's hard to pass around him. Now check the defender thinking he can just reach in for a steal as he goes through the legs, and then ask yourself, why the heck did his teammate stop running?
Yeah, why did you stop running?
Steal as he goes through the legs, and then ask yourself,
he just kept on running. He would have dimed you up on a silver platter. Room service.
Why the heck did his teammates
Verified platinum premium.
That said, he's going to have to learn how to read the defense when bringing it up like this. I don't mind him rejecting the screen, but he can't get doubled over like this and maintain balance or vision, particularly of the help defender reaching in. Technically, that help didn't deflect the ball, but his bent over posture, combined with a little bump of the torso, too easily sends him careening to the ground where the fear of injury is very real. Again, I love how he can push the ball really fast, and on the crossover, it looks kind of like he lost the handle, but he can recover control so easily with those hands. The issue here is how far over he's bent, nose in front of the toes, which is the equivalent of up to 30 pounds pulling you down to the floor. And while it's good he drew a foul, it's not good that he crashes this hard to the floor.
Yeah.
When studying the best rebounders of all time,
it's the thing with Wemby. The taller you are, the more hurtful it is, because you got to get low to protect the ball, because low man always wins, and you're not going to be low because you're tall. It's hard for you to get low when you're taller.
Crashes this hard to the floor. When studying the best rebounders of all time,
that's the only disadvantage for him. I think Draymond said on PG's podcast. But other than that,
to find someone to get in the
he got it.
The best rebounders simply went after the ball.
Like me, I got it.
Tons of clips of Wemby losing track of the ball to try and box out. And if ever there was a guy on the court who needs to just go after it, it's the mobile 7'5" guy. Too many times, rebounds that should be his end up bouncing away when he doesn't know where the ball is until it's too late.
Yeah.
This should be an easy...
His reaction time is late too, I noticed. Hopefully he can get that right. Hopefully he can get that right. He got a few months to get that right, Wemby.
He doesn't know where the
because
ball is
I saw that too while watching you play. Like, what? Bro, get the rebound.
When you see him just swoop in
there you go.
The board, you can see how much better it will be.
There you go. You just didn't catch it, but there you go. Coach Nick's supposed to buy Infinity. I know you driving Infinity.
Is thoughtfully.
A quick note on his passing. If you think the hype has gone to his head and he's going to be a selfish player, no way. He looks to pass often and can make not only the right play when a teammate is open, but is creative with his drives and dishes. No doubt when these are thrown to real NBA players, he'll be getting assists on them. I sincerely hope they run these quick pitches to him up top a lot. This through-the-legs crossover is more evidence to his solid handle, and also notice how his posture is better on this one. Not bending over in an effort to protect the ball, he can be more explosive this way, and as important, can see the floor better. And this one in particular caught my eye. First, check how graceful he is with his spin on the catch, but then gets in the air and makes this kick to the corner lefty around the help defense. It wasn't on target, but the fact that he even tried it this way tells you he's going to be a special passer. Defensively, the blocks are going to get most of the headlines, I'm sure, but it's hard to tell with non-NBA guards whether a block like this is a mirage. But I have no doubt that players who try to get their shot off against him inside are going to have problems if they can't get into his body first. Drivers will have to make sure they know where he is before taking off towards the rim, much the same way they have to do this with Rudy Gobert. And I like his footwork here to keep backing up and not fouling the ball handler, who gets swallowed up.
They say he's basically a 7'5" Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant 6 inches taller, or he's like the Gobert that can shoot and pass.
I have no doubt he'll get tested early and often by legit NBA guards, and while he will get scored on,
wait till you play John Morant, buddy.
Sure,
he might try to jump over you. He might try to jump and dunk over you.
You know he'll force a lot of misses as well. He moves well enough that he can switch on to guards and hold his own, especially because he can give them a very big cushion and still react to the shot and even block it. Against Brandon Miller, he's giving him 6 feet of space on a fast release guy, yet he still blocks it and turns it into a break with a gorgeous pass that an NBA player would no doubt finish. Here's another example of a lot of cushion so he won't get beat in the drive, and then a quick leap to knock it out of the air. The Spurs shouldn't be concerned when he has to switch onto a guard. Despite the mismatch down low, trying to throw a lob over him will be one of the hardest things to do next year. The cool thing is he can start out guarding a forward like he did versus the Blazers, then switch on a pin down onto a guard, and then if they run a very common pistol set, he can switch again and not give up anything while guarding the center. You can see how offenses will wither and die this way. He defends like a guard a lot of the time. Just watch how he navigates the cross screen, then seamlessly switches the handoff. How about how he gets around the screen quick and pursues? I think the Spurs will realize quickly they won't need to help like they do here. I'm anxious to see how he does on the elite playmakers when forced to switch onto them, but at least in this instance, his footwork is terrific to keep Miller in front. A couple things caught my eye. He definitely should not be trying to take a charge in transition.
That's what I'm saying. Too big to be taking charges, bro. You're 7'5", not 6'5". Block the shot.
He definitely should not.
And you got a long wingspan too. No excuse. You shouldn't be taking out 1 charges here. All blocks.
Take a charge.
If you get dunked on, it's okay, because that's your job. That means you're not doing your job if you don't get dunked on.
Charge in transition.
Part of your job is as all big men. It's for all big men, by the way, and rim protectors. Getting dunked on is part of your job. You know what I'm saying? Don't be embarrassed to get dunked on. That's just part of your job. That's protecting the rim.
Go after the ball and protect the rim. And there are times he doesn't aggressively go after the ball, leading to offensive rebounds. But he can make up for it with his ridiculously long arms. We already saw him do a cornet contest by jumping from the block on a three-pointer.
He's doing that shit. Bro, that 2K contest, bro.
We already saw him
that dude on the Celtics does it all the time. Now he's doing it.
By jumping from the block on a three-pointer, and it worked. And I'm praying the Spurs press a lot with Wemby playing safety at the back of the zone. You can see what happens as they force the drive towards him under the hoop. Rupert has second thoughts and loses a dribble because of it. His mere presence at the rim will make guards pass instead of shoot. And just look how he helps, but still can recover to knock this lob away. This does mean that he'll probably get dunked on a lot, and that's usually what happens to rim protectors who try to make plays around the rim as often as he will. Of course,
as I say, it's okay. It's part of your job.
Body strength, both upper and lower, will be an
Gobert
issue.
gets dunked on all the time. Westbrook dunked on him.
Plenty of evidence of him getting pushed around by summer league opponents, and it'll be a lot worse during their regular season. But look at a few other NBA stars when they were 19 years old. They looked just like Wemby does now. Yep. And I think we're all praying he'll get the right kind of strength and conditioning to keep him on his feet and avoid the kind of injuries that could keep him out of big stretches of the season. And he likes to shoot one-footed three-point shots, the kind of thing I've been advocating for at least 4 years now. Can I have more, please? This year isn't going to go perfectly for Wembanyama. He'll have.
That's what I want. What, you like that, Coach Nick? I do that all the time. I'm your perfect player, Coach Nick.
Shots, the kind of thing I've been advocating.
So sign me. I do this all the time and hit these shots on a regular. You should sign me.
Now. Can I have more, please? This year
Bro,
isn't going to go perfectly for Wembanyama.
That's why I say Wemby reminds me of me.
Just like any rookie would. But his ups are going to be a lot higher than most rookies we've ever seen. And the combination of height, skill, and mobility are going to eventually change the landscape of the NBA. So as long as he stays healthy, he will fill out and blossom into one of the most unstoppable forces we've ever seen.